Most people completely misunderstand what it means to register a company in a country like Syria, and because of that, they either assume it is impossible, overly complicated, or something that only large state-connected corporations can do. But the reality is more structured, more legal, and more specific than almost any online discussion makes it seem. And if you are thinking about forming what many people casually call a Syria LLC, there is something you need to understand first. Syria does not actually use the term LLC in its legal system. Instead, the closest equivalent structure is generally a limited liability company, often referred to under local commercial law as a SARL, or a limited liability entity depending on translation and legal classification. And if you miss that distinction, you can easily misunderstand the entire system before you even begin. Now let's start with a story. A man named Michael from Chicago had been running a remote consulting business for several years. His clients were international, his income was digital, and his operations were fully online. As his business expanded, he began exploring different corporate structures in various jurisdictions, trying to understand how different countries handle company registration, ownership rules, and legal entity formation. One night, while researching global company laws, he stumbled across mentions of Syria's commercial code. At first, he wasn't sure what to make of it. Syria is not typically discussed in mainstream conversations about international business formation. Most people think of more common jurisdictions like the UAE, the UK, or offshore islands. But Michael noticed something interesting. Despite the assumptions people often make, Syria does have a formal legal framework for business entities, governed by its commercial companies law, which outlines how companies can be formed, registered, and operated. That caught his attention. So he started digging deeper. And what he found was not what he expected. Because even in complex geopolitical environments, legal systems still exist, and business structures still operate within defined frameworks. But here is where the first major misunderstanding happens. Company formation in Syria is not an informal process. It is governed by strict administrative procedures, documentation requirements, and government registration steps. Now, let's introduce another character. Zara, a freelance digital strategist based in New York, was also exploring global business structures for international clients. She was not specifically focused on Syria, but she was researching how different jurisdictions handle limited liability companies and cross-border business operations. When she came across references to Syrian company law, she initially dismissed it as irrelevant or too complex. But then she noticed something important. Every country, regardless of its global perception, still maintains internal legal frameworks for business entities. And Syria was no exception. But here is where things start to become complicated in interpretation. Because information about company formation in Syria is often fragmented, outdated, or difficult to verify from external sources. And that leads to confusion. So let's slow everything down and focus on the actual structure. In Syria, a limited liability company is a legally recognized business entity that provides separation between the company's obligations and the personal assets of its owners. That is the core principle. But the process of forming one involves multiple administrative steps, local documentation, and approval from relevant government authorities. Now let's walk through the process step by step, as if Michael is actually trying to understand how it works in practice. The first step is defining the business activity. Michael begins by identifying what kind of company he would hypothetically want to register. In his case, it would be a consulting and digital services business operating internationally. But here is where the first reality check appears. In many jurisdictions, including Syria, business activities must align with permitted categories under commercial law. That means you cannot simply define any activity without classification. So the business purpose must be clearly defined and legally acceptable. Now comes the next step. Choosing a company structure. A limited liability company is typically chosen by small to medium business owners because it limits personal liability and allows for multiple shareholders. Michael learns that in Syria, this structure is designed to separate personal assets from business obligations, which is a foundational principle in corporate law globally. Zara notices the same thing when she compares different jurisdictions. Despite differences in systems, the core concept remains consistent. Legal separation between individual and company. Now comes the documentation phase. This is where things become more formal. To register a company, you typically need foundational documents such as articles of association, shareholder agreements, identification documents, and proof of registered office or business location. Michael initially assumes this will be straightforward. But he quickly realizes something important. Documentation requirements are not optional formalities. They are legal necessities. And in Syria, as in most countries, accuracy and completeness are essential for approval. Now let's introduce the next stage. Submission to the commercial registry. This is the point where the company becomes part of the official legal system. Michael submits his application through the appropriate administrative channels. And this is where expectations begin to shift again. Because company registration is not instant. It involves review, verification, and approval by relevant authorities. Zara, following a similar hypothetical process, realizes that even if the structure seems simple on paper, administrative processes always involve time and validation. And here is where a key insight emerges. No matter the country, company formation is always a legal verification process, not just an administrative formality. Now let's move forward. Once the application is reviewed, the company may be approved and officially registered, granting it legal recognition as a limited liability entity. At that moment, the business becomes a separate legal person under the law. Michael understands the significance of this. Because it means the company can enter contracts, hold assets, and conduct business independently. But here's where many people misunderstand the process again. Registration is not the end. It is the beginning of compliance. Now comes the ongoing obligations. In most legal systems, including Syria's commercial framework, companies are required to maintain proper records, comply with tax obligations where applicable, and adhere to reporting requirements. This is not optional. It is part of maintaining legal status. Zara notes this carefully. Because one of the biggest misconceptions about international company formation is that incorporation alone is enough. But in reality, compliance is continuous. Now let's talk about banking and operations. Opening a corporate bank account is often one of the most challenging parts of company formation anywhere in the world. Banks require verification of identity, business purpose, source of funds, and compliance documentation. And here is the key insight most people miss. Banks operate independently of company registration authorities. That means even if a company is legally registered, it must still satisfy financial compliance requirements separately. Michael begins to understand that incorporation and banking are two separate systems that must align. Zara reaches the same conclusion. Now let's zoom out for a moment. What is actually happening here? We are not talking about shortcuts or simplified offshore structures. We are talking about legal entities formed under national commercial law, subject to administrative procedures and compliance obligations. And that is the real picture most people never see. Now, let's return to the mindset shift. Michael initially thought he was exploring a simple international company setup. But now he understands something deeper. Company formation is not about geography alone. It is about legal structure, compliance, and long-term responsibility. Zara experiences the same shift. She realizes that every jurisdiction is a system, not a shortcut. And systems require understanding. So here is the final insight. If someone is considering forming a limited liability company in Syria or any jurisdiction, the real focus should not be on perceived simplicity or complexity. It should be on understanding the legal framework, the documentation requirements, the approval process, and the ongoing compliance obligations. Because those are the real pillars of any business structure. Not the name of the country, not the assumptions around it, but the legal system that supports it. And once you understand that, everything becomes clearer. Because global business is not built on myths or shortcuts. It is built on structure. And structure creates clarity. And clarity creates control. So whether you are exploring Syria or any other jurisdiction, the principle remains the same. Understand the system before you enter it. Because when you understand the system, you are no longer guessing. You are building with intention. And that is what separates confusion from confidence in international business. Now you understand Syria company formation far more deeply than most people who approach it without preparation. If you found this guide helpful, and want more clear, structured breakdowns of global business formation and international legal entities, make sure to subscribe for more in-depth guides like this.